Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. My next guest, I will be with tomorrow night at Caroline's. We're going to try to start at 7 o'clock. Try to get out there. Caroline's tomorrow. Darrell Hammond and myself talking about our books, reading, telling stories from our books. As Darrell says, a slice of life you're not going to find in many places.
Too many other places.
Yeah, and it's going to be fun, so come out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Starting at about 7:30.
Yeah.
Darrell Hammond is here. What's up, buddy?
Nothing. Just reeling for the Anthony Bosch.
Yeah, we were talking about A-Rod.
Crazy thing.
And is it true? Did A-Rod fail a test, guys? Anybody know? Did A-Rod fail a drug test?
I thought there was something that came out that they weren't supposed to release. It was like an unnamed sample,
Right.
where he was tied to that sample that was a failure, right?
10 years ago.
Isn't that what happened? And then he came out and said, well, yeah, my cousin gave me some stuff. I didn't know what it was. I was using it. Maybe
works.
that's why that. But the bottom line was they weren't supposed to reveal that it was him. But he did indeed fail a test.
He failed for stimulants in 2006. If that's
Oh,
what
in
you're talking about.
2006.
Illegal stimulants?
Yeah. Okay.
Or
so,
HGH.
So,
Well, wait. I mean, because in the NFL, they do a test, two different tests, drugs of abuse and then steroids. And the stimulants, for whatever reason,
in
are
the
on the steroid.
In the NFL,
test.
your steroid level could be like 12 times the test that the Olympians
I think
take.
it's different.
That's true.
Well, it's the testosterone to
cares?
epitestosterone
the NFL
ratio.
is no, but
The
you're right.
stimulant test is the same as the steroid test. Like they test for both with the same P.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
So
point
maybe
is,
that's what it is.
The
Maybe
point is,
steroids
and it's
here
a good
too.
one. He never failed test, and that's what he's clinging to. He's like saying, "Look, there's no
They have
physical
not-
evidence."
Well, he did though.
But
He did
Now,
fail a test.
recently.
You said for speed.
Recently.
That's not illegal, is it? In baseball, is that against the rules?
But it's also
Well,
about
none of it was right when he was doing it.
It's also about the timing.
Well, maybe for part of the time he was
I
doing
always
it.
thought everyone in the old days, the Mickey Mantle, that whole era, they called them greenies.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know, but I liked watching.
I mean, that
watching
guy's yeah, it is. Whenever 60 Minutes gets a hold of a character like that, it's just like clearly a shady guy.
Oh, man.
And they're just letting him have diarrhea of the mouth and everything. A-Rod's afraid of needles. I would inject him. It's everything he says is like a blockbuster.
I loved how he put the synapses, the cognitions. Like A-Rod is batting against a guy throwing 95, 95. And the guy tag it out. Also on, I was like, wow,
What is going on?
who are you?
He's just a thug. He's a guy that and he's getting all this attention.
He was on the payroll too, right?
MLB paying him. 60 Minutes is paying him.
MLB's paying him and they're protecting him, right? Aren't they paying for like a
So wait a minute,
security detail?
he had a security problem and he went to MLB for protection.
Right, because he said, look, because basically I think he went to them with a deal, knowing how much they want to get A-Rod, selling it especially.
Yeah.
Look, I got all this info, and I'll just, go nuts talking about it, but I need this, that, and the other thing. And they said yes.
But does Anthony Bosch make whatever his name is, make an interesting
Bosch,
point?
that's good.
That if to me, you're playing against everyone's using, right?
Right, that's what he says. He says, well, look, if that guy, well, why not? Why shouldn't I use it? Well, what about maybe the competition level? Like, okay, let me be the one doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I'm so great. Let me be the one who can prove I can beat these guys no matter what they're doing. Which is what A-Rod was, basically. A-Rod was that level of player.
That's the mystery to this.
Yeah. He was that great.
Yeah, I mean, he was going to be challenging Willie Mays no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember I walked up to Bob Costas once at a party, and I said, "Is A-Rod the next?" Come on, I mean, I don't want to be blasphemous.
What year was that?
10, 12 years ago.
So you say what, the next Babe
Torrey
Ruth?
was still the man.
Uh-huh.
No, I said, I mean, can he Willie Mays?
Right.
I mean, can we put him in the?
Yeah.
And he went, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and all those guys now, Costas, they hate the steroid era so much that they completely turned down.
A-Rod weighed about 40 less pounds back then, too.
Right, definitely.
When
in
I
his
had
head.
That,
Yeah, he
when I
was
had
skinny.
that conversation with him.
Yeah.
It's fascinating and sad all at the same time,
Yeah.
as a baseball fan.
Yeah.
Because you're right, all these guys aren't going in the Hall of Fame for at least a long time. Clemens,
You
A-Rod.
said 7 of 10?
7 of the top 10 players.
Right. Ramirez, A-Rod, Clemens, Bonds.
Sosa.
Yeah, Sosa, yeah.
Or Manny Ramirez.
And
McGuire.
and McGuire, absolutely.
And then you had this weird feeling like, well, then what is the home run record?
It's completely it's completely clouded.
I mean,
Nothing makes any sense.
I feel like you brought Hank Aaron, the dignified Hank Aaron, and you were juicing.
I know.
I mean,
That's Hank Aaron's like the most
it.
likable, greatest guy too, and you feel bad for him. And he cannot be classier about the whole thing. He's like, I just hope
the
A-Rod
epitome of class.
Yeah, he's like, I hope A-Rod can get himself some help. That's what he said.
Really?
That's what he said,
What else are you gonna say?
Yeah. Well, he could be, he could be a real jerk and go, "Hey, look, it's my record." Blah blah. He's like, "Hey, whatever." It spoke for itself. But that's interesting.
Yeah.
So what about what about a guy like Barry Bonds? What do you like? Don't you think he's a worse guy in some ways than A-Rod?
Why?
As a human being.
I don't know. He wasn't nice to me when I met him. But
When did you meet him?
I met him at in Scottsdale at spring training, maybe
Right.
8 or 9 years ago.
What happened?
My friend Bruce Bochy's the manager of
Oh,
the
yeah.
Giants.
Yeah,
and, Willie McCovey was there. I was like awestruck.
Oh, wow.
And I sat down and talked to Willie McCovey. It was like really great. And Barry Bonds like, man, he could be bothered, man. I'm like,
What?
I am your biggest fan. I mean, oh my God, I can't believe it. I mean, Barry Bonds is like, yeah, all right.
He gave you the hi-hat.
Yeah. All right.
That is what an athlete does, that because you have no frame. Like
He looked at, say, I am so honored to meet you. Just say that to me and I'll show you.
I am so honored to meet you.
Wow.
What is
that?
up with this
No
guy?
way.
It was like that.
Wow.
Who brought this drip?
Bruce is like, he's on Saturday Night Live, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
He's
he's not a bum.
Well, even worse, you got to hear what Paul Reiser did to Boschetti outside the Comedy Cellar.
No, this is nothing to me, but I seen it happen. It was horrible.
What happened?
This is probably like about in the mid-'90s, right?
Yeah.
And he pulls up at a Comedy Cellar, gets out of a limo, goes, looks by the schedule where they had the people's names outside, looks at the schedule and just goes, and gets back in his car.
How about that?
Oh.
Do you think that's up there with your Barry Bonds?
You really don't want that in the cell phone era, do you?
No.
In the camera phone era? Wow.
First of all, do you think you go to a limo, to the cellar in a limo, and you get out? Do you think that's proper behavior?
You know something? I was just thinking to myself, are there stories out there like that? Did I ever do that? And, I have my lecture agent is here from Teresa. She's actually Tim Tebow's agent.
Oh, no kidding.
Teresa Brown over
Oh,
there.
cool.
I went to tell stories from the book at
Right.
the University of Florida.
Oh, okay.
And so my college sweetheart was at the event, and Teresa asked me, like, how did that end? Did that end okay? I was like, it ended the way they all ended. Some really nice, attractive, wholesome, beautiful, sexy woman standing in a parking lot going, "Oh my God! What the hell is wrong with you? I love you. What is wrong with you?" And she actually said to me, "How many relationship ends like that?" I was like, "I'm thinking 13, like that, like 13 chicks just go." You know that look where they look at you, they kind of look at you like, "Oh my God, you're not different. You're crazy. You're crazy."
Exactly.
That's what it is.
I know.
Well, I did the commercials with Peyton Manning. I did.
Right.
And Peyton was all about like trying to find out how do I learn this voice, how to learn how much. I mean, Peyton is the most curious man. I don't care who's there. He wants to talk to. He's just a really curious, friendly guy.
Right.
And at one point, I was sitting there talking to someone. I saw him looking. He was trying to figure out like, what am I looking at here that I haven't seen before? And I guess it was like he'd never really kind of seen a crazy guy.
Yeah, some people sort of give you a look like, whoa.
Yeah.
I've gotten that from women a lot too, where like, well, that the guy. I mean, yeah, I've some relationships have ended. Well, one of my ex-girlfriends walked across the George Washington Bridge at 1:00 in the morning after a Yankee game.
Yeah.
She wouldn't get back in the car.
Yeah.
And every time I tried to tell her to get back in the car, she would tell like a bunch of Puerto Rican guys that I was trying to kidnap her. And they would come over and go like, "Oh, what's your problem?" And I thought she walked
man.
across the bridge.
Yeah, and these were amazing women too. These were great women that I, you kind of be like, boy, I hope I did a chick like that one day.
Right.
The same way. What's wrong with you? What the hell is wrong? Can you relate to that at all?
Yeah, oh my God! Yeah, Jesus. Oh,
Oh my God.
oh yeah. The tarot. You really you can't believe that you did that to a person.
Yeah.
You make promises that just get broken, and
Yeah.
ugliness, sadness.
And then I would go out there were women that actually wanted to have sex with me because I played Clinton. I mean, more than
Is
one.
that true?
Oh, absolutely.
Do they want you to do the Clinton voice during
Yeah,
sex?
yeah. Well, during sex. Yeah. Didn't I tell you the chick at Iowa State?
No.
I didn't tell you the
Yeah.
story.
No, you did not.
I told you that.
In the parking lot.
Yeah.
Oh no! Wait.
The girl came out, Mr. Hammond, I'll stay in my breath that you do for me. Oh, hell yeah. I totally did it for her. I was like, that's really
Why
sick.
not?
I was like, that is so sick, young lady. You were sick. She totally flashed me. I was like, okay. I am so happy. No one has ever offered to flash me before. You know what I mean? I mean, I was at the Comedy Cellar one night, and I mean a smashing, smoking 20-something came up. Cleavage. I mean, just like a knockout walks in and people
Right.
are going, "Wow, look at that!" And sits down and says, Mr. Hammond, I wanted to tell you I've studied you. I'm a fan of the elegant symbolism and simplicity and the minimal and all this, stuff like that. I'm like, I said, are you like an English teacher? And she's like, no, I'm a fetishist. And I was like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
And she went, well, I get guys off with my feet. And I responded as if she said, I sell aluminum siding. And he went, really? You get him off of there? Yeah. Yeah. And she said, are you interested in that? And, and I just went, I had visions of ended up in a trunk of a car.
Right.
Yeah.
Something horrible happened on it. I said, maybe another time. But now, since then, I've really regretted it. I was like, wow, I should have let that.
What would that have been like?
I don't know, that hot chick. I mean, she was beautiful.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, but see, you usually equate stuff like that with a chick not so attractive, but she was gorgeous.
She was gorgeous. Apparently, she got guys off with their feet up on Fifth Avenue.
Right.
Talking about Chaucer and Rembrandt and stuff. And it's like... And they like to have their meaningful sexual experience with a girl using her feet. That's their thing. And
Artie, you'd be really into that.
And she
Absolutely.
The feet thing?
Hands, well, any extremity.
I went. Did you ever?
Would you vomit if someone tried to do that?
I
Depends
actually.
on, what if she had the gout, the girl? Oh, no.
Artie can't watch like MMA because he can't stand to see people with
guys'
their
feet.
off,
I don't
with
like
their
guys.
shoes off.
A chick's foot, I love.
Oh, really? You
Yeah,
like
the
women's
ones-
feet?
I don't like a guy's foot.
Oh, all right.
I went to this club once.
I didn't know there was that
And in the
stipulation.
corner of the club was this girl, pretty nice looking, and guys were lining up just like to touch her feet and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. It was one of those clubs where, and I have time to tell this?
Sure, go ahead.
I'd always wondered what these sex clubs were like, so I always wanted to go to one.
Yeah.
So I go to this club, and you think wow, people walking around naked and having sex. It's gonna be sexy, right? And I walk in there, and there's like a woman who she was a postal clerk, dressed as a postal clerk. Another woman was dressed as a school teacher. There was the girl, the foot fetish is down the hall.
Yeah.
And then there was a guy being tortured like on a trapeze thing.
Right.
Like a 100-year-old guy getting cattle prodded, right? Now, the best part of it were the patrons who were looking to get off.
Right.
So there's a clump of 6 or 7 guys that are going from theme to theme to theme, like, is that it? No.
Do I like this? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure out what their fetish is.
I was like, wow, yeah, it's like, and I was like, They're torturing an old dude. I can't. I don't know.
But he likes it.
What? I just, just show me your boobs.
Yeah.
You don't have to torture somebody.
Yeah, see, I found I don't like any of that. Like it's too much work before the actual sex.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to get in a rubber suit and build a shed and everything. Like,
Build a shed. I don't want to build a shed.
can we just get to this?
Yeah.
But the
I
sex
would-
clubs are intimidating.
Well, that was the only one I ever went to because I thought are they all like that? And then I thought to myself, whatever happened to just like boobs?
Right.
Now's the guy's getting tortured. Here's the school teacher. I mean, there's like themes. And the girl was getting a lot of money.
I'm sure.
$50 a pop for these guys. They were like the recently unearthed type guys. Maybe just the to touch the feet. I don't know. Okay.
They were just touching her feet.
Yeah, $50.
$50.
Maybe she could. Maybe they get the sucker toes or something. I don't know.
That's not bad. Mike, you've probably done that, right? You said you went to some clubs like that when you were younger.
Well, one fetish I would love is to have like a chick dressed as like a Marine drill instructor that's tough and then do me.
What?
Do you?
Yeah.
Say that
Like-
again.
Like I like tough women.
Like
Yeah.
she does.
So in other words, you like guys.
No.
Like a woman dressed as a
As a Marine?
as
That's
a
like-
Marine or
yeah,
a
she
cop.
use- Marine drill
does
instructor
she
just-
use something phallic?
No. She just yells
On
at me
you?
to do her.
And then what do you do?
Do whatever she says.
She gets done.
Well, wouldn't you think if it was up to her, wouldn't she say, like, I'd like to leave? I don't know. I
really?
think,
A chick walks in. Hey, I leave,
No, no, she's yelling at me like, "Come on, you fat pig, move it, things like that.
yeah, but everybody says that to you. We're back after this on the Artie Lange Show. Very disturbing.
The Artie Lange Show, weeknights on Audience, only on DirecTV.